The Batfoot Podcast is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everyone, for a new episode of the Batfoot Podcast. Damian, David, Matt, back with you this week. We got some extensions happening again. We have a big name player making his big league debut. Then a couple people making some record performance. Well, I guess one making a record performance and someone looking like their old self. But before we get back to this, Matt, how are you doing this week?
Well, I was doing great, and then I haven't felt great this afternoon, but I'm feeling a little bit better now. Got pretty nauseated at the end of my work day today, but I'm doing okay now, and it's a good weekend. I hope everyone had a great Easter out there. I went fishing a couple times this weekend and did pretty good with that, and went and played golf on Saturday, which was something that happened, but that wasn't pretty. It was not. It was. I looked like Austin Riley swinging out there, which has not been good so far. So, but yeah, everything's been good. My March Madness bracket is one of the best in the entire world. I'm ranked number 4,000 in the world in March Madness brackets, and if Michigan wins tonight, I'll be even higher than that, which is awesome. So let's root for Michigan, even though I don't really like them that much. But yeah, everything's good. David, how are you doing?
Nightmares, frustrations. The season's off to a real rough start, I'll tell you. Good outside of
must suck to be in last place.
Outside of baseball specifically, we're doing just fine. But my goodness, it's been a miserable week, to say the least. Damian, I'm sure it's a lot better over there.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at my March Madness bracket, it is not, because I am 3.44 million ranked.
Yeah, it was.
That's not that bad. There was like 30 million brackets put in.
I had two of the top. I had two of the Final Four. I had the two that lost. I had Arizona and Illinois in the Final Four. They both lost. Yeah. So
I did not. I think I had Florida winning it.
Ooh.
That's tough.
Yeah, it was.
You and me both got taken out by Iowa.
I had no Final Four picks, right? I think I had no Elite Eight picks, right? It was.
Oh my God!
It was not good. Over
here.
The
Cubs season in a bracket, amazing.
Yeah, basically. But what I will say is, I'm doing much better as a baseball fan. The Dodgers are doing exactly what you basically expect them to be doing at this moment, so I cannot complain about that. But let's get into this because let's start with the extension, because I think this is one David and I both like a lot. I don't know how Matt especially feels about it, but the Mariners signed Colt Emerson to an 8-year, $95 million deal, has a 9th-year club option with a full no-trade clause. There are escalators in that deal that can take it over $130 million in total guaranteed money. Emerson did not get called up. He is still in the minor leagues. It still sounds like that's going to be a thing for the foreseeable future, at least at this moment. But he is a very highly rated prospect. FanGraphs has him 11th ranked overall. MLB Pipeline has him 7th, and Baseball America has him 7th. So pretty close to a consensus top 10 ranked prospect here. Emerson is going to be a stud when he gets up to the major leagues. David, I know you are a very big Colt Emerson fan, as he is on your dynasty team. So
nope.
You traded him. Right.
No, he is not.
Where's Adam? Where's Adam in the comments?
I had the opportunity to get Cal Raleigh utilizing Colt Emerson, and I felt that was a worthwhile deal. Cal hasn't started off very hot, but I have some faith in the 2025 AL MVP.
Cal would be doing a lot better if he went to Adell, but we'll talk about that.
That's right.
Cal Chris Davis Raleigh.
Ooh, there you go. Anyways, talk about Colt Emerson.
Yeah, Colt Emerson is a. I felt like he's the kind of like super solid shortstop prospect that, it's funny. We talked about Cooper Pratt last week. This is almost kind of the exact opposite type of player, right? You have the guy that's got a lot of like superstar potential, but a ton of bust potential. It feels like Colt Emerson's just gonna be a really solid shortstop for a long time type of guy. Like his worst case is like J.P. Crawford, which is the guy that the Mariners already have. In best case, he comes like a Corey Seager type of guy who's just really, really good all the time. He's athletic. He's got a really sweet lefty swing. I really like the approach for him in the minor leagues. He's hit every stop, right? He's got to Double-A last year, I think, and this extension makes a lot of sense. He got to Triple-A last year, but the weird part about this extension is that they can't get a PPI pick for him now if he
Yeah.
comes up and wins Rookie of the Year, which
Yeah.
I don't think it was really like likely, but odd they didn't like call him up and then announce this extension because that's what may happen with another guy. But overall, it's fine. It's a good deal. Obviously, we talked about a lot about these deals kind of getting grandfathered, and we think teams are trying to get these guys locked up if they can before we get a CBA that might change service time numbers and might change arbitration, and there's all kinds of things that might get swept up in this. Well, Colt Emerson getting locked down for almost $100 million. That's a great deal for him. Great deal for the Mariners if he becomes the type of guy that we think he certainly can be, because I think he's leaning towards that like Corey Seager level player, maybe a little less power, but like a usual all-star type of player. In Colt Emerson is just how I look. He homered off a Kate Horton in spring training last year, and it was just a real good swing. So I like Colt Emerson a lot. I think he's the right kind of guy to make a bet for this. It does give you, if you're looking at the Mariners, right, they're a team that's going to be good. They're going to be contending for the playoffs. They were a team that are going to make trades at the deadline. Colt Emerson was a guy they probably weren't going to trade, but like now they're not going to trade him.
Yeah.
So you look through, they've got some other middle infield prospects. Arroyo is one that comes to mind. Celestine is the other one, right? Those guys now probably very available in trade. So if you're a fan of a team looking that to sell some pieces at this deadline, well, you might be able to pick up one of those guys from the Mariners because they're probably going to be trading.
And another thing, JP Crawford might just be a guy that gets traded as well. He's a rental. He's a free agent at the end of the year. So
that would be a move.
Could be a thing too.
Sure.
If Emerson's ready.
He would have to be ready. And I mean, even then, right, you'd probably keep JP just to be on the team.
Yeah.
Can't hurt.
I mean, I think if you're Colt Emerson here, he's 20 years old. I think it's going to be until next season before he really becomes a factor, unless he absolutely kills it in AAA, which, through 7 games, it hadn't been wonderful. It's been okay. It's small sample size, obviously. But we'll see what happens. I think he could end up being called up before he hits 21 years old, which is, pretty impressive for this guy. And, the contract is, as David said, it's totally fine for both parties on this type of prospect not making the major leagues yet, getting that big deal. It's a risk for the Mariners because you never know with prospects, as we've seen. But I'm totally on board with them taking the chance on this guy. I think he's as safe of a hitting prospect as you're going to find. That doesn't mean he's 100% safe and foolproof, but he's as safe as you'll find in the minors. There's no real red flags in his game. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good whenever he gets called up. But you said getting called up at the age of 21 would be pretty cool. What about being called up as a teenager?
Yeah.
That's cool stuff.
The city of Pittsburgh might want to watch out for traffic cones because they might get sold out. They might get stolen everywhere. If you have not seen, Konnor Griffin of the Pittsburgh Pirates debuted at 19 years old on Friday. First teenager to debut since Juan Soto. He doubled in his first at bat, and then I don't know who the reliever is, but he's just like in the bullpen just with the traffic cone and then like later in the walking down the tunnel, Konnor Griffin has traffic cone just up on his shoulder, just walking down that. Konnor Griffin's going to be very good as well. He is also in talks about a long-term extension. Like David said, the Mariners don't get the PPI pick for Emerson if he were to win because he signed that before his debut. But if you debut and then just have like a handshake agreement in for about a week and then you announce it, you still are eligible for said thing. So that'll be very good for my predictions now that Konnor Griffin is up, as I predicted him for Rookie of the Year. But Matt, what'd you think of Konnor Griffin getting called up at 19 and then obviously that first little game/weekend we've seen of him so far? Yeah,
I mean, this guy is an unbelievable prospect to start with. I mean, he just killed it in the minors last year. Had a 165 WRC plus across 3 levels. Plays really good defense and at shortstop. I mean, this guy is as good of a prospect that you're going to find. He's the number 1 prospect in baseball for a reason. Could be a future superstar here. His first weekend hasn't been great. He's only played in today he's playing in his 4th game. He's 0 for his last 13 after that double. But I mean, you can't judge him off of one weekend of baseball. But I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. The projections on FanGraphs already have him as around a 3-win player this year. I think that's very doable. That will probably win him Rookie of the Year or get him close to it. So I think he's as good as it gets. And I'm excited to see what he can do. I mean, the Pirates are off to a really good start. They're 6-3. They've got we feel like they've probably got the pitching, and they just need to get enough offense together. And if Konnor Griffin can provide a big boost in there, that's going to be great to go with O'Neal Cruz, who has been pretty good so far at the plate, not so much in the field.
At the plate.
And some of the other guys they brought in, like Brandon Lau's had a pretty good start to the season, and you feel like Marcell Ozuna will get going to a certain level at some point.
From the Braves?
Not anymore. Brian Reynolds too. You feel like he'll get going at some point. Yeah. So I'm a fan of Konnor Griffin, and I'm excited to see what the Pirates do. I mean, they are off to a pretty good start. So
yeah, I mean, Konnor Griffin, I do feel that he's a little more volatile of the type of prospect where his defense and athleticism is a little more refined than his swing. At the current moment, right? This is a guy that's probably going to take a couple seasons to get to max performance. I don't think he's necessarily going to be Juan Soto that debuts and just becomes an MVP candidate overnight. But that's not out of the question, which is why it's so exciting that it is happening. But it's also the reason that Konnor Griffin is certainly within talks to get an extension now. Yeah. Right. He's got, there's a little bit of, there's rawness in the game. He's over his last 13, right? He's a guy that he's good. I think he's going to be really good, but he's also very young. There's still growing and developing to do. And it's not going to be linear, I think, but he can do that at the major league level in a pennant race, right? Like the Pirates are going to be a team that does contend for the NL Central. I said that at the beginning of the season before this even started, right? In our predictions episode, I had them second in the Central, and I stand by that. I think this is a good team. So, Konnor Griffin is only going to make it better. And, if he gets locked up, the money helps, right? That's something that just, now you can put all that behind you and focus forward on building, being the best player you can be for the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting here next week talking about a Konnor Griffin extension being in the books already. This is a breath of fresh air. This is what the city of Pittsburgh needs to kind of get behind that team. It's been really bad there for the past couple seasons. But now you've got, obviously you have Skeens and you spent a little bit of money this offseason, but everyone was like, well, Konnor Griffin's here. Like, what are we going to do? Now you're committing to signing him to an extension. Dude, that's going to give that fan base a whole lot more juice to get back there. And PNC, when it rocks, it rocks.
Yeah, it does.
It's really fun.
Being, having been to a game as recently as last year, I mean, that fan base deserves the world. There was maybe 20,000 people at the game I went to, and it was a Pirates walk-off win, and they were roaring for a last place team last year. And it's like, or it was fourth place team last year, but like in August, that's a fan base that can be special when things are going right. And it's been a long time since things have gone right. 10 years since their last playoff appearance.
I mean, we know the city of Pittsburgh gets behind its teams when they're good. It will get behind that. But we've criticized Bob Nutting a lot on this show. So we're going to give him a little bit of grace here with you actually starting to spend some money. It helps us get off back a little bit and tell you not to sell the team as much.
And if you extend to Konnor Griffin, right, and you draw in more free agents, more, you continue with that spending, then you're less likely to lose a Paul Skeens. You'd be more likely to take a deal in the coming seasons, right? So you have to build a winner that someone like a Paul Skeens, who could set records on the free agent market, is willing to stay with. Yep. Like that's the first task. Then it's open the checkbook, but the first task is build someone a Skeens wants to sign with, and this is step one in that regard.
Got to show the commitment. So let's transition to talking about. This is going to be more quick hitters here a little bit, but Sandy Alcantara has been a big name on this show for a long time. We've talked a lot about his trade market over the past couple years and what we thought it should be and shouldn't be. The Marlins held on to him again this offseason, hoping that we would see the vintage Sandy that won a Cy Young from a couple years ago come back. And he looked every bit of that the other day. I think it was last Wednesday. He had a 93-pitch shutout. It looked like vintage Sandy Alcantara again. His velocity was there. His command was really, really good. So it's going to be very exciting to see if Sandy's able to get back to that. And then if maybe this is the year that the Marlins decide to maybe move off of Sandy at that point.
I mean, you're talking about the NL East leading Marlins right now.
Yeah, first
Maybe.
place.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, he's on a deal that, well, he's got a club option for next year. So,
Yep.
and they
It's
guess they could keep
affordable.
him. Yeah. But anyways, Matt, what'd you think about Sandy in this game?
Well, I mean, I think it was awesome. I mean, it's vintage Sandy Alcantara. He's been doing this for his whole career, really, other than last year when he was coming back from his injury. I mean, I think he's the type of pitcher that is capable of doing that because he throws really hard pitches to contact, gets a lot of weak contact. And his profile looks pretty good so far through 2 games. This is never going to be a pitcher that gets a ton of strikeouts. Despite the high velocity, but he's real efficient, and when he's been at his best, he doesn't walk guys, and that's kind of been the thing the last couple of years, right before his injury and post-injury, has been the walk rate. It's been up. It hadn't been horrible, but it's been up. And so far this year, he hasn't been walking guys. And if he can kind of have his command back, his velo's actually dipped a touch this year. For what it was even last year, but if he can get back his command back, get to not walking guys, he's always going to put up pretty good. Not get hit real hard. He's going to get good ground ball rates. So he's been really good so far this year. I'm excited to see what he can do going forward. And I mean, the Marlins are in an interesting position where right now, I mean, it doesn't feel like a team that should be competing really, but they kind of were last year. They were on the fringe, especially after a bad start. They played really well down the stretch, and I mean they're off to a good start this year too. So, I mean, I don't know if I would sell out Sandy at this point. I mean, if you were gonna sell him, you should have sold him 2 years ago, because I think you're kind of in a position where you think if things kind of break your way, a la 2015 Royals, like 2014, 2015 Royals. I mean, you got some young players that have kind of outperformed what you expected from them. And this is that place that has this Rays mentality with their front office. And Sandy Alcantara is on a really cheap contract for what he is. So I would keep him if I was the Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that you always come back to is maybe if he is on a cheap deal and it's a 1.5 year control, if they trade him now, where if he looks like vintage Sandy, like they could get a haul for that. That might be the top pitcher available at the deadline. You can see a big haul come back for that. I don't think they should. It's the same thing of what we talked about Skubal in the offseason, right? I don't think they should trade Skubal, but this is a team that if you're not, the Marlins are a little bit different because they just haven't ever spent money, but it's because he's so cheap and you've already talked about trading him before. You could probably get a very big haul for him at this point. But like you said, if they're in contention, then maybe they just keep it and try to sign him to an extension or something.
Yeah.
Later to traded Ed and Weathers, so that'll be something to watch for. All right, let's talk about Joe Adell just having the most insane game of his life and making an entire team's X page the next day just be like, don't hit the ball anywhere to right field. And then when they did, just be like, they put up a video like, no. Okay, wait, we got away with it. Because Joe Adell robbed 3 homers on Saturday night in a 1-0 Angels win. That only run was a leadoff homer by Zach Neto. Is a historic performance because the most home runs robbed in a game ever have been 2. Odell obviously got 3. The most homers ever robbed through a season by one player is 3, which was Tatis last year for an entire season. And Adell did it in a game.
That's wild.
No team has ever robbed 3 homers in one game. Adell did it himself. Like, no team ever with players combined. And Adell did it by himself. It was truly an insane record-setting game. And hot take, this should count as 3 defensive runs saved.
Yeah.
Why does that not count as 3 defensive runs saved?
The thing that's one of the flaws with the metrics on defense is going back to the wall and Yeah, but the funniest thing to me is last year Joe Adell had a -12 outs above average and was quite possibly the worst outfielder in all of baseball. And this year, despite the like you mentioned the problem with the ballpark, I mean with the robbing balls at the wall is tough, but his outs above average this year's -1. Like it's just funny. Like he's a horrible defender, yet he has this game where he's had one of the best defensive performances of all time in one night. But the craziest thing to me is like, how many games do you see? I mean, the opportunity to even do that, because having 3 balls hit to the wall, to the same wall, and be close enough to be home run where they would be home runs, but they were close enough to catch them. Like it's crazy to see 3 of them. Now, granted, there's a few stadiums like Angels Stadium that has the really low outfield wall that you can you have a little bit more room to do that. But Dodger Stadium would be another one with the corners there. But it's crazy to me that he did this, and we probably won't see that one again for a while. It's kind of like the Fernando Tatis 2 grand slams in an inning deal, where you probably won't see that again.
Yeah, that probably won't happen again. That's just really cool. But I also want to call attention to the discussion that was surrounding it. People were like, well, he needs to have both feet down before he can complete a catch, and trying to pull the NFL ruling in. And I'm sitting here like, it's like the strike zone thing, right? Like if the ball touches the strike zone, it's a strike. Yeah. We're seeing people getting all mad that the ball barely touched the strike zone. Like if it touches the strike zone, it's a strike. What are we talking about? And then if the player is touching the field of play or in the field of play, like at all, it's there. If he runs jumped out of the field of play and then caught the ball, that would not be it. But he drove from the field of play, caught the ball, and tumbled into the stands. Derek Jeter did that one year. Anthony Rizzo ran up on the tarp that was in play and caught the ball. Like you've seen these defensive plays from guys before. Like there's nothing different about this play. It's just that this was the 3rd home run robbed of 3 in a night that made it a little more scrutinized. But I mean, this is a awesome performance. I think this is a 1.0 win above replacement. I don't think anybody else is doing that. That should be a 1.0 in the win above replacement category. For Joe Adell. Obviously, they don't run the calcs like that, but that was 1 W for the Angels, orchestrated by the right fielder.
So 2 quick things. That picture from behind him is iconic. That awesome. should be hung up on banners.
That was cool.
And second off, I don't know if you guys watched the Mariners broadcast.
Oh, they were so bad.
They were so victimized by Joe Adell that game. I feel so sorry for them.
That's one of those things that I don't know if you guys watched that the history of the Seattle Mariners thing, but that is only the Seattle Mariners could have orchestrated a team getting 3 home runs robbed in a 1-0 loss.
Yeah,
right. Like it would have been so much less special if the Mariners had won the game like 5-1, but he still robbed the 3 home runs. The fact that it was 1-0 loss makes it so special.
Right. Yeah, that was awesome. That game will forever be lived in memories around the world. So a couple quick other ones. The Blue Jays this week, they've had a rash of injuries come over, and even maybe another one with Max Scherzer leaving the game tonight early. They signed Patrick Corbin to a 1-year deal. He sounds like he's already pretty built up to 80-plus pitches, so you could see him in the major leagues pretty soon. And then they acquired infielder Tyler Fitzgerald from the San Francisco Giants. He was DFA'd this last week. They acquired him for some cheap depth. I would not be surprised if he even gets up to the major leagues at some point soon with as many injuries as they've had. So those are a couple quick ones there.
Barger's been pretty bad.
Well, he got hurt as well.
Yeah, and he got hurt
both ankles. So
Alejandro Kirk is hurt now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one.
I mean, Patrick Corbin is it's a depth add. He wasn't terrible last year.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible.
That was, there's at least some hope that he can give you some innings. This rotation on the IL is crazy though. Barrios, Bieber, Bowden Francis, Cody Ponce, Trey Savage, and possibly Max Scherzer after tonight is their IL.
Rotation.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah,
brutal.
One quick one. I just added this one very quickly.
I'm glad you did.
I just happened to see it. Jose Ramirez is now the leader in games played for the Cleveland Guardians franchise.
He tied it on Sunday. He tied it on Sunday. They had a flag in right field that was counting it down. Which is super cool. He is going to set like every Cleveland franchise record if he plays out this contract.
Yeah.
This is gonna be it's gonna be rare. He's gonna be in rare air, I think, when it comes to Cleveland baseball, which is a historic franchise, and then the amount that he's played, as good as he's been for as long as he has, he's gonna set some records that have not been broken in like 80 years type things, and I think this is one of them.
He'll be revered in that city for all of eternity as long as he does stay there as a lifer Cleveland guy who could have left very easily and got paid a lot of money somewhere else. He decided to take very team-friendly deals to stay there.
Yeah, it's very cool for him. He's only 33 years old, which is kind of crazy. It feels like he's been around forever.
Him and Manny Machado, man.
Yeah, well.
Hall of Fame third baseman sitting here.
Came up at 20 years old. I mean, kind of like Manny. I mean, he has been around forever, but he's still, he's still got some good years left, you would think, at 33. He showed no signs of slowing down last year, but great player. Very cool for him. The thing that's most remarkable, as David mentioned, this is such a historic franchise. The Cleveland Guardians, Indians, Spiders, Naps have been around since like the late 1800s. This isn't one of the expansion franchises. Like if someone became the Padres leader for games played, which won't happen because of Tony Gwynn, but probably not a good example, but or the Mariners or the Brewers or something, like you don't, it doesn't feel the same as somebody for the Cleveland Guardians. I mean, and that's really remarkable and good for Jose Ramirez on sticking with them. And yes, Hall of Famer all the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see at the end of his career what the stolen bases and home runs looks like, because he is separated by 3 right now through his career.
I'm worried he'll start pulling away with homers, but he hasn't yet, so who knows?
I mean, he stole 44 bags last year.
Yep.
He only hit 30 homers.
The last 2 years have been his 2 career best stolen base years.
At 31 and 32.
That's what the rule changes, right? That's what the disengagement changes.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. All right, let's jump to kind of the injury horde of the episode real quick. And some of these are a little bit more bigger of a deal than other ones, but we'll start with Mookie Betts, an oblique injury. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, most likely. You just never know with obliques. Those things can linger forever. He hurt it running the bases, of all things. Everyone thought, well, he had a check swing before. It was not the check swing. He said he hurt it rounding the bases. So we'll see what that comes to. You just never know with obliques. Sometimes it's shorter on that timetable. Max Muncy missed almost 3 weeks. 3 months, sorry, with a oblique a couple years ago. So you just never know there.
Yeah. Hate it for Mookie after what happened last year with just kind of getting that slow start and never recovering from that sickness he had right before the season.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Alex Freeland is the option at shortstop then, maybe some Miguel Rojas.
It's going to be Freeland's the everyday second baseman now. It's going to be Rojas and Kim.
I was going to say
Ha-Sung Kim.
Yeah.
Okay, got him.
They're going to be a platoon at short between Rojas and Kim, basically. So, Jordan Lawler fractured his wrist after getting hit by a pitch. He's out 4 to 6 weeks as well. This guy just can't catch a break. It's always some injury, one after another. He had a great spring. He had looked so good so far to start this year. It was actually transitioning to the outfield, was a very good defensive outfielder so far this year. I don't know if the numbers show that, but watching him play it against the Dodgers, he made very good plays almost every single game. So that one really, really sucks. Former top prospect. Hate to see him go down there. Then let's get to the Cubs because David is in misery. Cade Horton left the game with forearm tightness the other day. Doesn't sound like it's too terribly bad, but at the same point, you just never know with those things. It could be bad very fast. Then Matt Boyd got placed on the IL today with a left bicep strain. Don't know the severity of that one, Dave. You'll be able to give some more insight there. And then Seiya, who has been out, should be back on Friday. So that's a little tiny bit of good news for you.
Maybe they'll get rid of Michael Conforto for him. But,
Goat.
the thing that ticks me off about the Cade Horton thing too was he was pitching in the rain in Cleveland in like 40 degrees. And I was like, I don't want Cade Horton pitching right now. An inning later, he comes out of the game with an injury. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I saw it coming just because it's just bad conditions. When the guy throws that hard, it was something that was bound to happen. I'll tell the Carter Hawkins interview today was not particularly inspiring, but the only thing we know right now is that he's got imaging today. We'll know this week about Cade Horton. We're hoping for good news. They said they're not expecting it to be a bad injury, but we've heard that one before.
Yeah.
Boyd said he could have pitched through this injury, and he's expecting to just miss the 2 starts. But again, how often do you hear a pitcher's arm, it starts bothering him, and then, it's just set back, and then he's out for longer and longer.
Especially someone like him who has had a history of arm injuries.
Yeah.
Right.
And is 35.
Yeah, he's older. I'm okay with the precaution, but like losing 2 starters in a week is really bad. It's so bad. And the Cubs have good depth, but you didn't want to test the depth this early, right? And I don't think Justin Steele's ready to be back yet. So they're going to be rolling with Colin Ray and Javier Assad in the rotation for the time being. Colin Ray was great in his he picked up Cade in that game on Sunday morning. So or it was Friday, but Friday. He was Colin Ray was really, really good. He'll be fine. Specifically, I am very concerned about the Javier Assad spot because he just likes to give up base runners, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he can't keep walking the tightrope. But Seiya being back is good. The lineup needs some juice. It's just been bad thus far. The Cubs have been a train wreck when it comes to the fundamentals, and that really bugs me. As of watching this game, and they played sloppy defense and give up a run, and then bad command, walks. The relievers have not been good. They haven't been sharp. It's just the management. Like Council pulled Amaya in the 5th inning today for Conforto to go righty lefty when Amaya is a better hitter against righties. Like it's all been just not good. Like little things, and that has added up to a bunch of losses early on.
Maybe they can go hire Pat Murphy this offseason.
Somebody tracks how many games the Cubs are behind the Brewers since doing that, and it's like 18 games back.
Good
or something
Lord.
Like that.
But I hate it for Cade Horton, and I've said it before on the show. Anytime I hear the words forearm strain, I don't expect somebody back for a while. So sometimes they do, but it's just one of those things that scares you when you hear that term. But sometimes you actually have a forearm strain, and you can pitch and you can be out for a few weeks and then come back. So that might be what this is. It's just alarm bells.
Ed Cabrera did it last August, September. He left a couple of weeks for a forearm strain, came back, pitched well enough. He has not had any sort of elbow injury since then. It's freaking crossed. So it's as I said on Twitter earlier. I just need Danhausen to uncurse the Cubs. We'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, speaking of elbow issues, it sounds like Johan Oviedo's arm/elbow is not in very good condition at the moment. Apparently, he was supposed to meet today with Dr. Keith Meister, who did his Tommy John surgery, to get checked out because he woke up on Wednesday and was not able to bend or flex his arm at all. He had not been very good. His velocity had been down in his a lot. So that was always one of the concerns with Oviedo in general when this trade happened, that I was very concerned that he was not good and that his arm might be cooked anyways. And I hope it's not a real bad injury, right? But this is always something you worry about with guys who just have had these injuries for a while. So I've never, not recently at least, heard of someone who's like, when I woke up, I just couldn't even bend my arm. That doesn't sound too encouraging.
No. It sounds like the guy threw 150 pitches 2 days in a row back in the early 1900s type of story is what that is. Stuff. Yeah, I threw a complete game yesterday, threw a complete game today, took a nap, woke up, couldn't bend my arm. When we finally got it bent, I went through another complete game. Yeah. That's the kind of story this is. But I liked, it's one of those where we talked about I liked the trade. The problem was never like the arm. The problem was the ineffectiveness for Oviedo and like the historical like inconsistency. This is, you can't predict injuries, but like this is just wild, like so wacky of an injury.
Yeah.
And then the thing I wanted to bring some attention to, the Red Sox trade target stuff. This last deadline and off season has been real bad thus far this season. I mean, James Tibbs for Dustin May looks like an all-time blunder. And then Kyle Harrison for Caleb Durbin is going as Brewers devil magic should expect from that. And then this trade looks bad too with Oviedo's arm going down. So it's just the Red Sox having a whale of a time.
And you can even back that up to the original Devers trade.
Well, hey, you got James Tibbs. James Tibbs looks like a future
and Kyle Harrison.
And Harrison has pitched good.
Remember when they made the Kyle Harrison for Caleb Durbin trade, and somebody here said that they thought that was a great trade for the Brewers?
Yeah, it's the stupid freaking Brewers devil magic.
Yeah, I remember that one very fondly.
I was not on board with Caleb Durbin. I liked Kyle Harrison. I thought he was going to turn it around. So
yeah, who would have thought that the Brewers would just be like, "Hey, Kyle Harrison, here's a changeup, throw it," and he's like, "All right," and then all of a sudden he's good.
Yep.
No? All right, let's talk about. Let's go to Justin Verlander. Now he got placed on the IL with hip inflammation. Doesn't sound too serious here, but he's 40-something years old having hip issues. What I did find hilarious is the day before he got put on the IL, he caught the ceremonial first pitch, and then someone on Twitter was like, "We had this guy crouching down like a catcher just with hip inflammation."
Oh man.
But I'd have been shocked if he didn't spend a couple of times starting on the IL this season at 44.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was going to say is if you can get like 100 innings, 80 to 100 innings out of Verlander this year that are half decent, then you feel pretty good about that. I mean, that's kind of what you're hoping for, and have his moment of being back in Detroit too, which will be cool. But I don't think he started a game, but it was on the road, I believe. I don't think he started at home yet.
Yeah, it was not good either.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was bad. But I think it was in Seattle, maybe.
I'll tell you, it was in Arizona.
Arizona, okay.
Yep. That's fair. All right, and then Hunter Brown. This is one that we really don't know about that, but can be very, very serious. He got on the IL with a shoulder strain. There's been no word on what the imaging is, but shoulder strains can be anywhere from a couple weeks thing to you're out for the year. With surgery potentially. So this one's going to be a rough one to try and track and see what happens here, because he was really, really good this year or last year.
Yeah, he's been good so far this year too.
Yeah, he had really broke out last year, had really good success so far this year. And the Astros kind of needed Hunter Brown to be healthy this year, especially losing Framber. They've brought in a lot of kind of depth type pieces to that rotation. But you needed an ace kind of to stay healthy, and that's going to be a big hit to their chances if he's out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Their rotation right now is rough.
Yeah. It's not.
They're leading the West, but I don't envision that to continue as long as Hunter Brown is out.
Yeah.
Jordan is on fire. Jordan is carrying right now.
Yeah, they also need to figure out what's going on with Brian Abreu. Because has he looked terrible.
Been bad.
Yeah, I know. I traded for him in Dynasty this year.
Christian Javier's been really bad too.
As the Brent Rooker owner, I thank you for your service.
Yeah.
He had a walk-off home run last night for anybody not.
Hey, shout out Lance McCullers.
Yeah.
By the way, he's been good so far and through his first two starts. And it's really cool to see him healthy. He barely pitched for 3 years. And him being back and on their opening day rotation and having some success early on has been really cool to see.
I think he pitched against the A's. I think I was watching some of that game, if I'm not mistaken, was it Saturday or Sunday?
It was the A's.
It was Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
He looked pretty decent.
Sunday.
It was Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
He looked pretty decent for the first little bit. But yeah, it's good to see Lance McCullers back. All right, Alejandro Kirk went to IL with a thumb injury. He now had to get thumb surgery. We aren't sure the extent of that until after the surgery happens. But anytime you're getting surgery, you're looking for a while.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if that was like a torn muscle in the thumb there, or it was something broken or what. So that'll be something we have to track and get back to you when we know the exact timeline there. And then Juan Soto had a calf injury. He'll be out about 2 to 3 weeks. He didn't seem too bothered by it when I saw him talking. I think it was over the weekend. He said he probably should miss a couple weeks though. So yeah, that seems pretty easy. He should be back within a few weeks at least. So
still impactful, but
Yeah. I mean that. Yeah. Let's say that division, that having your best player miss 2 to 3 weeks with the competition level there is going to be a big deal when we get down to the end of the season if it costs them a couple games.
Yeah.
Yep. To the Marlins.
Yeah. Well, that's
the real team that's scary.
There's 4 really good teams in that division right now. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, respect the Nationals.
I don't know about that.
If they had a bullpen, they would have won yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say the Nationals' insanity run of winning 2 out of 3 against the Cubs has come crashing down. I mean, that's currently looks like the pillow fight of the year. But
hey, listen, let's shout out Miles Michaelis, who gave up a career high 11 earned runs on Friday for the first time ever, which his previous career high was.
I believe in 4 innings too. Like they left him up there to die.
I saw on the ticker his previous career high was 10 runs, and he had done that 7 times. So it was pretty accomplished.
That guy, I love to see that guy on the rotation against you. That's the best one. Go get the bats right.
Yeah, remember that one year he was really good too.
Like right after he came back from overseas.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty. Cool.
All right, so last thing. It's been messed up this week, but David, let's kind of go over the player of the day poll.
So the issue is that Twitter's polling is simply not taking the votes and counting them on our thing. Like we literally had multiple instances of like, hey, are there votes happening? And no. So I don't know who's winning the thing. So I didn't even pull it up today because I was like, I don't know who's winning them. Yeah. But you could do Joe Adell, right? He had yesterday, so I went ahead and threw him in there as a no poll. And I guess my question to you, and then anybody like watching, if you want to comment or talk about it, like, what do we want to do going forward? Because the way we did it last year is the way I would like to do it, which is just put the polls up on Twitter, is not counting the results. So how?
It's probably a bug that'll get fixed.
Hopefully it gets fixed. I'll keep trying to knock them out, but it's a little discouraging when it isn't able to be counted as results. So.
Yeah, I think maybe we just continue to put them up maybe on YouTube's poll and then link it on Twitter for now.
Yeah, I did that and I got 3 clicks, and I think that was mine, yours, and then one other person. So
I think we got 5 total votes last time I looked at it. But I think so.
I had seen 3.
But also, if we can preference to people watching this to, hey, if you see it on there, go over to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, first off, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video. But if you see the polls, just drop a like there or drop a vote there. If you see it on Twitter, just click on it. Come over here. It's pretty easy. Just drop a vote. I think we do that for now, and then figure out, or maybe we just double it up, put it on YouTube and then on Twitter. And when Twitter starts counting votes, maybe we know at that point.
Right.
So
Joe Adell will be my nomination for Player of the Week this week. I think that performance.
I agree.
I think it's
super exciting.
Yep.
That'll be the first time Angels have won back-to-back. They are our players of the week so far.
These ones I probably should have put it up. We have some good Angels fan support on Twitter. They might have voted for it, but I didn't feel like there was anybody else to vote for.
Yeah.
If after that you can't,
legend.
You can't really. And Adam, we were talking about the number 1 prospect in baseball getting called up today.
Yeah, Adam, you missed it. We talked about former Myrtle Beach Pelican and current South Bend Silverhawk Colt Emerson.
Yeah. So I threw on the hat because we talked about the number 1 prospect getting called up from this team. So there you go. But that's going to wrap up this episode. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. It just helps out this channel get pushed out to people that enjoy content like this. So it's free. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode, and we will catch you guys back next week.